This video is on graphing linear inequalities. Key points for us to remember. Inequalities means that they're not equal, so we're not going to have an equal sign. We have a greater than or less than. Things to remember. When we have the equal sign, this is going to be a solid line on our graph. If it does not have an equal sign, it is going to be a dashed line. If it's a solid line, points on this line are included. If it's not equal to, points on this line are not included. So in a minute when we learn how to graph, if we're looking for solutions, if we have an equal to, if it's a solid line, and our point, if we're looking for a point and it falls on that solid line, it's going to be a solution. If it falls on that line but it's not solid, it's a dashed line, then that's not going to be a solution. And one key thing that we need to remember when we're doing inequalities is, if we multiply or divide by a negative, our sign flips. Okay, so for our first example, we have 3y plus 6 is less than negative 15x. We want to solve this just like we would if we had an equal sign and put it in slope-intercept form. So the first thing that we need to do to get y by itself is to subtract 6. So I have 3y, this is a zero pair, is less than negative 15x minus 6. Then to solve for y, I need to divide by 3. Since that was not negative, I have y is less than negative 5x minus 2. So this is my equation. Now my slope is negative 5, or negative 5 over 1, and my y-intercept and my begin point is negative 2. Since I do not have an equal to sign, this is going to be a dashed line. And when we're talking about shading, if this is my line here, this is the equation for my line. If my y's are less than my line, it's going to go below. So if y is the smaller number, we're going to shade below. Then to do this possible answer, not possible answer, we've got a graph. So I'm going to start at my B, my begin point, at negative 2. That's my y-intercept. And my slope is negative 5. So I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And I'm going to follow the same pattern backwards. So I go up 5, back 1. So up 5, back 1. Up 5, back 1. And then I need to connect, this is not really a straight line, it should be, but connect those points. And I actually have made a mistake here because this is supposed to be a dashed line. So let's make this a dashed line. Okay. So when it says shade below, so where my line crosses my y-axis, I'm going to go below. I'm going to go down here. And on this side of the line is where I'm going to shade. So I'm going to shade on this side. Now, possible answers. Possible answers are answers that fall in a shaded region. So, I could pick anything over here on this shaded region. So if I pick this point right here, that's in my shaded region. So the point -3, 4 could be a possible answer. Something that could not be a possible answer. Since this is dashed, it could be something that falls on that line. So this point right here, -1, 3, or something way over here, like 4, 2. Next example. I have 6y is greater than or equal to 3x minus 24. So to solve, I need to divide by 6. So I have y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 4. So I've solved for y, so now my slope, my m, is going to be 1/2. My b is going to be -4. Since I have an equal to sign here, it is going to be a solid line. And since my y's are greater, my y's are bigger, I'm going to shade above. So here we go with our graphing. So my b, my begin, my y-intercept is -4. My slope is 1/2. So rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. And I'm going to connect these points with a solid line. And I'm shading above. So I go to my y-axis and I go above. So all of this up here gets shaded. Possible answers. Something up here. So this is 6-1. Since I have a solid line, it could fall on that solid line. So let's pick this point right here since the line went through it. So 2, -3 would work. And something that won't work, something down here. So a 1, -5 won't work. And if you want to check that, all you have to do, okay, so if I want to check something that's not a possible answer, you can simply put that in. So 6 times y, so -5, greater than or equal to 3 times x of 1 minus 24. 6 times -5 is -30, greater than or equal to 3 minus 24. So -30 is greater than or equal to -21. That's not true. And my third example, 2x minus 3y is greater than 6. To solve for y, I first need to subtract 2x. -3y is greater than -2x plus 6. My sign did not flip here because I only subtracted. I didn't multiply or divide. But now, I need to divide everything by -3. Since I'm going to divide by -3, I need to remember my sign has to change directions. So I'm left with a y. Negative over negative is a positive 2/3 x. Positive over negative is a negative. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now my slope is 2/3. My y-intercept is -2. I do not have an equal sign, so it's going to be dashed. And my y's are smaller than, so I'm going to shade below. So I'm going to start at my b, my begin, at -2. And my slope is 2/3, so rise 2, run 3. And we have a dashed line. And we're shading below. So go to my y-intercept and go down. So I'm going to shade this side of the line. Possible answers. Three, -2. Something that's not a possible answer, 3, +2. And if we want to check something that would work this time, so a possible answer, we want to see if it works. So -2, let's try this one. Sorry, +2 times 3 minus 3 times y, which is -2, greater than 6. So I have 6, negative times negative, so +6 is greater than 6. So is 12 greater than 6? Yes. That's going to work. If you want to see if not possible answer would work, you would check it the same way.